Daenerys comes back with the next scroll and puts it in front of William. This one, William, is kind of long only because, as you remember, Aegon the First, who we believe is the one who founded the throne at Dragonstone for the House of Targaryen, had the First Great War. But now comes an even greater war. We call it, from our past, the Dance of Dragons. Dance of Dragons. So you mean like the dragons are doing some kind of dance? No, I find this a little bit funny. No, William. If you were standing on the ground, you wouldn't see the riders because they are pretty small while riding the dragons during a battle with each other. But the dragons would be fighting each other as well as the dragon riders fighting each other. And so it was what we called it, the Dance of Dragons. Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't trying to crack a joke. It's okay, William. You have funny human comments I find very intriguing. I guess that's why you're not like any man of this world. Although I do find this very amusing, the strange things that you say and do. So in any case, William, you're going to learn about how Viserys I made a decision that caused a civil war. While there was those that fought on the ground, there was also opposing sides to one another. One side was called the Greens, and the others were called the Blacks. So this will be somewhat lengthy, only because of the Dance of Dragons, or maybe to your human understanding, it would be known as the Dragon Wars. All right, well, I look forward to learning about this. And then I think, William, before you begin, yes, go ahead. I think it's going to be getting late, so we should have dinner, relax a bit, and call it a day, and then we will continue tomorrow. All right, well, I will do whatever you suggest. Very good, William. And so then he begins his next study of Viserys I and the prelude to Dance of the Dragons, otherwise known as the Dragon Wars. Bormund Baratheon. Bormund Baratheon was Lord of Storm's End and head of House Baratheon during the reign of King Viserys I Targaryen. He died before the Dance of the Dragons began in 129 BC. His appearance and character, Lord Bormund was an old man when he died. He was belligerent. History. When Lord Bormund was alive, House Baratheon was always a staunch supporter of the claims of Princess Rhaenys Targaryen and her children. Princess Rhaenys and her uncle, Lord Bormund, were always steadfast friends. Lord Bormund supported the claim of Princess Rhaenys' son, Sir Laenor Velaryon, at the Great Council of 101 BC to the Iron Throne. He had at least one son, Boros, who gave him 4 granddaughters. When Rhea Royce died in 115 AC, a raven was sent to Storm's End, and Lord Baratheon sent a messenger via ship to inform her husband, Prince Daemon Targaryen, who is warring in the Setstones. As Boromir was old when he died, this lord was presumably him. Just as a historian note, because this is of the House Baratheon, this will not continue any further in regards to its lineage, because this is, of course, the House of Targaryen's historical genealogical lineage. So, for anyone who may be of the House Baratheon, you will have to continue this lineage on your own accord after Boromir Baratheon. Jocelyn Baratheon. Jocelyn Baratheon was a member of House Baratheon. She was the daughter of Lord Robar Baratheon and Lady Alyssa Valerian, and their second child together. Alyssa Valerian, the widow of King Aenys I Targaryen, married Robar Baratheon, Lord of Storm's End, in 50 AC. The marriage produced 2 children, Boromir and Jocelyn. Jocelyn married the Prince of Dragonstone, Aemon Targaryen, the eldest living son and heir apparent of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Jocelyn and Aemon's daughter, and only child, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, was born in 74 AC. In 92 AC, Prince Aemon died in battle, and King Jaehaerys passed over Rhaenys in favor of bestowing Dragonstone and the place of their apparent upon his next oldest son, Prince Baelon. Alyssa Valerian. Alyssa Valerian was a member of House Valerian, who became the queen of King Aenys I Targaryen. She served as queen regent to her son, King Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Later, she married Lord Robar Baratheon and became Lady of Storm's End. History. Alyssa was the daughter of King Aegon I Targaryen, Master of Ships, Lord Aethon Valerian. She was Targaryen on her mother's side. Alyssa married her cousin, Prince Aenys Targaryen, in 22 AC. The marriage was a political match. She gave birth to 6 children during this marriage: Rhaena, Aegon, Viserys, Jaehaerys, Alysanne, and Vaela Targaryen. Aenys became king in 37 AC, but died after only 5 years of troubled rule in 42 AC. Alyssa became a hostage of her good brother, King Maegor I Targaryen, when he usurped the Iron Throne from Aenys and Alyssa's eldest son, Prince Aegon. Alyssa remained a captive on Dragonstone until the death of Dowager Queen Visenya Targaryen in 44 AC. The chaos afterwards gave her an opportunity to escape with Jaehaerys and Alysanne and her 2 youngest living children. She also took Dark Sister, Visenya's Valyrian steel sword. Alyssa's escape led to the death of her eldest living son, Viserys, who was tortured for 9 days until he died. His body was left in the courtyard of the Red Keep. As Maegor hoped Alyssa would come to claim it, she did not. Alyssa rallied lords to the claim of her only surviving son, Jaehaerys. The first to proclaim for him was Robar Baratheon, Lord of Storm's End. Upon Jaehaerys' coronation in 48 AC, Alyssa became his regent. She kept this position until Jaehaerys reached his majority 2 years later. Half a year after stepping down as regent, she married the Hand of the King, Lord Robar Baratheon. With him, Alyssa had 2 more children, Boromir and Jocelyn Baratheon. Robar Baratheon, the Lord of Storm's End and head of House Baratheon. He was Lord Horus Baratheon's grandson. In history, Lord Robar was the first great lord to openly proclaim for Prince Jaehaerys against his uncle Maegor the Cruel, also known as Maegor Polygamous. For his loyalty and courage, he was named Protector of the Realm and Hand of the King, following Maegor's strange death upon the Iron Throne. During the remainder of King Jaehaerys' minority, Lord Robar shared the rule of the realm with the king's mother, the Dowager Queen Alyssa Valerian. Half a year after Jaehaerys came to rule on his own, Robar and Alyssa were wed. The marriage would yield 2 children, Bormon and Jocelyn. Okay, since we already had reviewed the 13 children of Jaehaerys I Targaryen, we're going to this time only cover the ones that had not just lived to adulthood, because again, Daenerys Targaryen, who is a septa, was also feeling those with grayscale, but she had eventually succumbed to it herself and later died. So those that are still living and surviving are the ones that we're going to be covering now. Aemon Targaryen, son of Jaehaerys I. Prince Aemon Targaryen was a member of House Targaryen. He was the second-born son of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen and Queen Alysanne Targaryen. Aemon was married to Lady Jocelyn Baratheon. Together they had a daughter, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen. Alyssa Targaryen. Princess Alyssa Targaryen was the second child and eldest daughter of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen and Queen Alysanne Targaryen. In history, Alyssa was married to her youngest brother, Balon. They had 3 sons together, Viserys, Daemon, and Aegon. Again, take note, she was the second child only because the firstborn died young. Thus, the second-born, Aemon, became the first, and Alyssa became the second of those who lived to adulthood. Baelon Targaryen. Prince Baelon Targaryen, also known as the Spring Prince, for the season of his birth and the Bray, was a member of House Targaryen, and was the third-born son of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen and Queen Alysanne Targaryen. He had 3 sons himself, Prince Viserys, Daemon, and Aegon. Daela Targaryen. Princess Daela Targaryen was the daughter of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen and Queen Alysanne Targaryen. She married Lord Roderick Arryn, and together they had 1 child, Aemma Arryn. Princess Daela was the 5th of the 13 children born to King Jaehaerys and his wife, Queen Alysanne, and 1 of only 9 to live until adulthood. In 80 AC, Daela married the Lord of the Eyrie, Lord Roderick Arryn. They had 1 child together, a daughter, named Aemma Arryn. However, Daela died giving birth to Aemma in 82 AC. Aemma would marry Daela's nephew, Prince Viserys Targaryen. When Viserys was crowned king of the 7 kingdoms, Aemma became a queen. Vaegon Targaryen. Vaegon, born Prince Vaegon Targaryen, was an archmaester of the Citadel. He was the 7th-born child of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen and Queen Alysanne Targaryen. He was also called the Dragonless. In history, the 7th child of King Jaehaerys I and Queen Alysanne, Vaegon was given to the Citadel at a young age. He would go on to become Archmaester, holding the ring and rod and mask of yellow gold. Rhaenys Targaryen, daughter of Aemon. Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, known among the small folk as the Queen Who Never Was the faithful wife of Lord Corlys Velaryon of Driftmark. She was a dragon rider whose dragon was Meleys, the Red Queen. Her appearance and character. Rhaenys had traditional Targaryen beauty. She was 55 years old during the Dance of the Dragons and was still as fierce and fearless as she had been at 22. By then, she had a lean, lined face and silver hair streaked with white. Rhaenys wore steel and copper armor which flashed in the sun. In history for her youth, Princess Rhaenys was the daughter of Jocelyn Baratheon, the daughter of Lord Robert Baratheon of Storm's End, and Prince Aemon Targaryen, the heir of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Rhaenys was the staunchest of friends with her uncle, Jocelyn's brother, Boromon. Rhaenys married Corlys Velaryon and had 2 children with him, Laena and Laenor Velaryon. Aemon died in 92 AC. Old King Jaehaerys chose Aemon's younger brother, Prince Baelon, rather than Rhaenys, Aemon's only child, as his new heir. Great Council of 101. Because Baelon died in 101 AC, a great council was called at Harrenhal to decide upon Jaehaerys' new heir. Rhaenys' uncle Boromon, now Lord of Storm's End, and Ellared Stark, Lord of Winterfell, spoke for her, as did Ellard's bannermen, House Dustin of Barrowtown, and House Manderley of White Harbor. When the claims of Rhaenys, her daughter, Laena, and 7 others were eventually dismissed, Boromon and Ellard supported Rhaenys' son, Laenor, over Baelon's son, Prince Viserys Targaryen. While the tally was kept secret, it was rumored the assembled lords favored Viserys by 20 to 1. Laena and Laenor both died in 120 AC, the year of the Red Spring. Laena's widower, Prince Daemon Targaryen, scandalously married Laenor's widow, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, less than 6 months after Laenor's passing. The children of Baelon Targaryen. Viserys I Targaryen was the 5th Targaryen lord of the 7 kingdoms, ruling from 103 AC to 129 AC. He succeeded his grandfather, the old king Jaehaerys I. Viserys continued the prosperous peace and legacy of his grandsire, but the seeds for the civil war, known as the Dance of the Dragons, that would much later engulf the realm, were inadvertently sown in his reign. Viserys was a dragon rider who rode Balerion until the dragon died of old age during the reign of Jaehaerys. Viserys never bonded with another dragon after Balerion's death. Daemon Targaryen. Prince Daemon Targaryen was a member of House Targaryen and the uncle and husband of Prince Rhaenyra Targaryen, whose claim he supported in the Dance of the Dragons. He was Rhaenyra's second husband following Sir Laenor Velaryon. He was a younger son of Prince Baelon Targaryen and brother to King Viserys I Targaryen. Prince Daemon was the most experienced warrior of his time and wielded the Valyrian steel blade Dark Sister, a dragon rider whose dragon was Caraxes. Daemon declared himself the king of the Stepstones and the Narrow Sea. Much of Daemon's life was written about by Archmaester Gildine and the Rogue Prince, or A King's Brother. Aegon Targaryen, son of Baelon. Prince Aegon Targaryen was the youngest child of Prince Baelon Targaryen and Princess Alyssa Targaryen. His older brothers were King Viserys I and Prince Daemon Targaryen. He presumably died young, as he is not mentioned in Archmaester Gildane's work concerning the life of Prince Daemon Targaryen, the Rogue Prince, or the King's Brother, detailing the reign of Viserys I Targaryen. Aemma Arryn. Lady Aemma Arryn was the queen consort and first wife of King Viserys I Targaryen, and a granddaughter of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen, and his sister wife, Queen Alysanne Targaryen. Viserys I Targaryen. Viserys I Targaryen was the fifth Targaryen lord of the Seven Kingdoms, ruling from 183 AC to 129 AC. He succeeded his grandfather, the Old King, Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Viserys continued the prosperous peace and legacy of his grandsire, but the seeds for the civil war, known as the Dance of the Dragons, that would much later engulf the realm, were inadvertently sown in his reign. Viserys was a dragon rider who rode Balerion until the dragon died of old age during the reign of Jaehaerys. Viserys never bonded with another dragon after Balerion's death. Appearance and character. Viserys was plump and pleasant. He was described as amiable, open-handed, and eager to please. His generosity was legendary, and the Red Keep became a place of song and splendor during his reign. King Viserys hosted countless balls, feasts, and tournaments, and lavished gold and offices and honors among those he favored. He was well loved by lords and small folk alike. In his midlife, Viserys' stoutness caused him numerous health problems, including from gout, aching joints, back pain, and respiratory issues. Towards the end of his life, his girth nearly kept him from ascending the steps to the Iron Throne. Viserys sported a bushy silver-gold mustache and wore the crown of his grandfather, Jaehaerys I. In history, for his youth, Prince Baelon Targaryen, chosen by King Jaehaerys I as his heir in 92 AC, died before the Old King, leading to questions about the succession. Baelon's eldest son, Viserys, was eventually chosen by the Great Council convened in 101 AC. He was 26 years old and had been married for a decade to Lady Aemma Arryn. In 104 AC, the tourney for King Viserys I's ascension was held in Badenpool. Early reign. King Viserys inherited a secure throne, a full treasury, and a legacy of goodwill from his grandfather. Jaehaerys I. House Targaryen was at its most powerful during Viserys' time, having the most members and dragons since the doom of Valyria. Viserys was known as the Young King when he ascended the throne, and due to his amiable nature, the small folk were optimistic about his reign. In his court, he had a dwarf jester known as Mushroom. Holding a splendid court with Queen Aemma Arryn, the young king was determined to maintain the peace and goodwill of his grandfather Jaehaerys wives. They had a son who died in infancy, and a daughter, Princess Rhaenyra, who was 6 when her father became king. The princess became his royal cupbearer at the age of 8 and was always by her father's side at feasts, balls, and tourneys. Rhaenyra was dubbed the realm's delight. Viserys' younger brother, Prince Daemon Targaryen, considered himself his brother's heir and coveted the title Prince of Dragonstone. While Viserys loved his younger brother, despite his flaws, he had no wish for Daemon to succeed him. Viserys was hopeful that his wife would give him a son soon and settle the succession issue. Viserys appointed his brother on the small council, but the rivalry between Daemon and the Hand of the King, Sir Otto Hightower, became so great that Viserys, in early 104 AC, appointed Daemon to be commander of the City Watch to remove Daemon from the small council. Fearful of Daemon becoming king, Otto tried to convince Viserys to make Rhaenyra his heir. Viserys refused, as he was confident he and his wife would one day have a son. Aemma later became pregnant, to the king's delight. In 105 AC, Aemma died in labor, birthing the king's son and heir, whom Viserys named Baelon, after his late father, Prince Baelon. But the infant died a day after Aemma. While the king was bereaved, his brother Daemon was observed in a brothel in the street of Silk, making drunken japes with his cronies about the heir for a day. When word of this reached the grieving Viserys, his grief turned to rage. After the mourning period was over, Viserys held a lavish ceremony in 105 AC and had Rhaenyra declared the heir and princess of Dragonstone in response to his ungrateful brother's ambitions. Hundreds of lords and landed knights did obeisance to the princess and swore solemn oaths to defend her rights of succession. Daemon left the capital in a fury. Viserys began to groom Princess Rhaenyra to be the ruling queen, teach her how to rule, and made her part of his small council. Second marriage. Since Viserys was not yet 30, Grand Maester Runesider was the first to urge him to remarry, suggesting Laena Velaryon, daughter of Lord Corlys Velaryon. Such a marriage would have healed the rift between the Iron Throne and Driftmark, since Viserys had been chosen as heir to the Iron Throne over Laenor Velaryon in the Great Council of 101 AC. Viserys instead chose Alicent Hightower, the 18-year-old daughter of Otto Hightower, his Hand of the King. Viserys and Alicent married in 106 AC. Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen poured for her new stepmother at the wedding feast, and Queen Alicent kissed her and named her daughter. Rhaenyra and Alicent at first got on well, but that soon changed. Prince Daemon Targaryen When he was told about his brother's marriage, reportedly whipped the messenger who brought the news nearly to death. When Daemon and the House of Targaryen fought a war for control of the Stepstones against the Triarchy, the peaceful Viserys was unperturbed. The fertile Alicent bore a healthy son, Aegon, in 107 AC. A daughter, Helena, followed in 109 AC, and another son named Aemon was born in 110 AC. The amity between Queen Alicent and Princess Rhaenyra soon ended, as both desired to be First Lady of the realm. Though Alicent had given Viserys male heirs, the king did nothing to change the order of succession, as he considered the matter already settled by naming Rhaenyra in his will. Otto Hightower hectored the king so much that Viserys sent him back to Oldtown, bestowing the position of hand on Lionel Strong, Lord of Harrenhal. Two parties began to form because of this at court. The Queen's party consisted of powerful lords friendly to Alicent and supportive of the rights of her sons. Against that was the party of the princess, those who supported Rhaenyra as heir. Envoys from the free cities made note of the coolness between the two in letters and sent back to Braavos, Pentos, and Volantis. In 111 AC, a tourney was held to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of Viserys and Alicent's wedding. Since the queen wore a green gown, while the princess wore the Targaryen colors of black and red, it became the custom to refer to greens and blacks when talking of the two parties. During the great tournament being held in honor of Viserys I Targaryen, there became a starting of a faction who took after that title, the Greens, to decipher between one party and another, as a faction title. Their sigil would be a three-headed yellow dragon. And while nobody would have suspected anything, because after all, they are of the House Targaryen, they decided to form their faction in secret until they became noticed at Dragonstone. This, of course, would involve many meetings because a tournament isn't just a one-day event. Many participants of many categories would participate, and it isn't until the last two would have to face each other off become declared the title winners for the final day of the tournament. So the tournament would last for several days. This also means there would be opportunity for the Greens faction to form, either having meetings at Dragonstone before, during, and sometimes, in theory, after each day of the tournament. This then is the faction forming of the Greens. The Greens were the faction of House Targaryen and their loyalists who supported the ascent of Aegon II as king of the Seven Kingdoms during the Dance of the Dragons. They were opposed by the Blacks. In history, their name derives from a great tournament held in 111 AC at King's Landing on the 5th anniversary of the King Viserys I's marriage to Queen Alicent Hightower, his second wife. At the opening feast, Queen Alicent wore a green gown, whilst Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, Viserys' daughter by his first wife, dressed dramatically in Targaryen red and black. Note was taken, and thereafter their respective factions at the royal court initiated the fashions they set. The Queen's party dressing in green and the Princess party dressing in black. In time, it became the custom to refer to each party as simply the Greens and the Blacks. During the forming of the faction, certain dragons would be won over, or that is, they would be dragons that are bound to those of the Greens. Sunfire, also known as Sunfire the Golden, was a splendid young male dragon. He was ridden by Aegon II Targaryen. According to Archmaester Gildane, Sunfire was the most magnificent and beautiful dragon ever to fly the skies of Westeros, even the world. In appearance, Sunfire had gleaming gold scales and pale pink wing membranes. In the sunlight, his scales shone like beaten gold. He is described as being the most beautiful dragon ever seen upon the earth during the reign of King Viserys I Targaryen. By 129 AC, Sunfire was big enough to be quite a capable fighter. As a note, again, this is for those who are fans of dragons and the Game of Thrones. Many people considered themselves to be humans, and it wouldn't be until an actual human comes to their world they would realize that they weren't actually on the earth that this actual human came from. But that would be for many centuries later when this would be revealed, when he would be found on the beach. Dreamfire. Dreamfire was a mature she-dragon. She was once the mount of Princess Rhaena Targaryen and later became the mount of Princess Helaena Targaryen. The description is that Dreamfire was big enough to ride during the reign of King Maegor. In history, Dreamfire was hatched at some point prior to the reign of King Maegor I Targaryen and was ridden by King Amy's daughter and eldest child, Princess Rhaena Targaryen. Dreamfire later bonded with Queen Helaena Targaryen during the Dance of the Dragons. After Helena's 6-year-old son was slain during the Civil War, Helaena spent her days in darkness, weeping, and was not capable of riding her dragon. She eventually went mad with grief and threw herself from her window in Maegor's Held Fast and died. At the moment of her death, Dreamfire rose suddenly with a roar that shook the dragon pit and snapped 2 of the chains that bound her. During the storming of the dragon pit, the 4 dragons lairing within the dome were in chains. Dreamfire was the only dragon able to break free when the mob broke in. She broke from her remaining bonds, took wing. She circled the cavernous interior of the dome and swooped down to attack the men below. She slew more men than the other 3 dragons combined. The mob pushed through her attacks, and she was within easy reach of archers and crossbowmen. They loosed arrows and quarrels at her. Wherever she landed, men swarmed to attack her, diving her back into the air. Eventually, one of her eyes was nicked by a crossbow bolt. Half blind and maddened, Dreamfire flew into the dragon pit's great dome above. The already weakened dome cracked on impact, and half of it came tumbling down, crushing her and dragon slayers under tons of broken stone and rubble. Targaryen, also known as the Blue Queen, was a she-dragon. She was ridden by Daenerys Targaryen. In description, Targaryen had blue scales with wings dark as cobalt. As a secondary color, her claws, crest, and belly scales were as bright as beaten copper. Even her flames were cobalt blue in color. She was of fighting size, but still a young dragon, and nimbler in the air than her older brothers. She was near in size to sea smoke. Targaryen was 3 times smaller than Vermithor, and not as fearsome a beast as him in comparison. The prominent greens consisted of the following, and when the time of the Great Dragon War known as Dance of the Dragons comes in, some who actually are known by paintings or pictures will be available for further information. The Royal Targaryen members. King Aegon II Targaryen, King of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men, Lord of the 7 Kingdoms, Protector of the Realm, rode Sunfire. Queen Helaena Targaryen rode Dreamfire. Prince Aemon Targaryen, Prince Regent and Protector of the Realm, rode Vhagar. Prince Daenerys Targaryen rode Targaryen. Prince Jaehaerys Targaryen bonded with Shrykos. Princess Jaehaera Targaryen bonded with Morgul. Prince Maelor Targaryen possessed a dragon egg. The Green Council consisted of Queen Dowager Alicent Hightower, Sir Otto Hightower, Hand of the King, Script of Office, Sir Criston Cole, Lord Commander of the King's Guard, and Hand of the King, Sir Tywin Lannister, Master of Ships, then Master of Coin, Lord Jasper Wilde, Master of Laws, Lord Larys Strong, Master of Whispers, Grand Maester or wife. Aegon II's King's Guard consisted of Sir Eric Cargyle, Sir Richard Thorne, Sir Willis Fell, Sir Marston Waters. The Caltrops consisted of Lord Unwin Peake, Lord of Starpike, Lord Owen Fossaway, Lord of Cider Hall, Sir Hobart Hightower, Sir John Roxton, Sir Tyler Narcross, Mark Ambrose, Richard Rodden. Those that defected to the Greens, the Lords Rossby and Stokeworth, surrendered and turned cloak when Aegon II's overwhelming royal army advanced east, leading to the Battle of Rock's Rest after Rhaenyra's captured King's Landing. She had Rossby and Stokeworth beheaded as traitors. Hard Huff Hammer bonded with Vermithor. Ulf the White bonded with Silverwing. Lord Manfred Mooton, Lord of Maidenpool. This also included Maester Norrin and Sir Florian Greysteel, Sir Alfred Broom, Tom Tanglebeard, Tom Tangletongue, Lord Corlys Valerian, Lord of the Tides and Master of Driftmark. Other notable Greens from Westerman was Lord Jason Lannister, Lord of Casterly Rock, Lord Lefford of the Golden Tooth, Lord Swift of Cornfield, Lord Rain of Castamere, Sir Clarence Crakehall, Sir Tyler Hill, Bastard of Lannister. Men from the Reach consisted of Lord Ormond Hightower, Lord of the Hightower, Sir Bryden Hightower, Sir Roger Corn, Lord Redwyn of the Arbor. From the Stormlands, we have Lord Boris Baratheon, Lord of Storm's End, Sir Byron Swan. And from our Rivermen, we have Sir Simon Strong, Castellan of Harrenhal, Lord Bracken of Stonehenge, Elise Rivers. Then Daenerys decided that might be a good idea to have a break. William, I think we should have a break, and then we'll come back and finish the rest of this. All right. Sounds good to me. Need to stretch my legs anyway. So they get up and they go past the staircase in the hall where William had gotten the secret history information for at the time when she had her sense of loss for the blood mixing ritual. And they go out to the outdoor palace patio to sit or stand and get some fresh air before they continue on.